Has this ever happened to you? Your opponent seems to block everything, but every time you walk up to throw them, they tech. It's like they always guess right, and you can't find an opening to do any damage. This probably means your opponent is delay teching. Hi, I'm Hushfield, and this is an overview of delay tech. We'll discuss what it is, how it works, how to practice it, and how to beat it. In short, delay teching is a defensive OS. An OS, or option select, basically means you input two different commands at almost the same time. Instead of you having to make an actual commitment to either one of those options, you just let the game decide which one is the correct one, ensuring you always guess right. This helps in automatically covering some different options. In the case of delay teching, the two commands that are automatically covered are blocking and throw teching. If you do the option select correctly, you will block if they try to press a button, but tech the throw if they walk up and throw you. It's especially noticeable that people are delay teching if they always tech your throw at the very last possible moment. Doing a delay tech is actually quite simple. You block, most commonly using down back to crouch block, and shortly after you start blocking, you quickly tap the light punch and light kick buttons for the throw command. Because you're in block stun, you will just keep blocking if they keep pressing buttons. But if they moved up to throw you, you'll tech it just in time. So, crouch block, and shortly after you started blocking, press throw. You'll note that just pressing throw once only helps versus very basic tick throws. You'll have to alter the timing at which you press throw depending on your opponent's block strings. So basically, once you get used to the initial timing, you'll find yourself doing delay tech almost automatically in quick succession on defense. Some people actually consider this to be a bad habit, especially at higher levels of play, but it is an important skill to develop in order to improve. While the idea and execution of delay teching are quite simple, the timing does take some getting used to at first, so you'll need to practice this for a bit in training mode. I learned delay tech using the exercise described in Geef's gym. I still think it's the best practice routine around, so I'll take you through how to set up the practice in the way they prescribe. You can find a link to the Reddit article in the description below. Alright, so to practice delay teching, you go to training mode. Geef's gym explains it with Urdu. You can probably do it with other characters as well, but we'll use the Urdu example here to keep it consistent. What you want to do is you go to the dummy settings right over here. It'll be on dummy by default. You move it to playback recording and then go to action recording settings. Now you record the first slot like this, you have him walk forward, and then you do crouch light kick and crouch light kick. Now obviously I'm not happy with this one, so we'll do it like this, like that. The second one you record is you have you walk forward, do one crouch light kick, and then immediately do like a micro walk into throw, sort of like a tick throw. Like that. Yeah, not super happy, so we'll do it again like this and have him walk forward a little bit for consistency. Then what you do is you turn both of the slots off, and very important, you have to make sure your display recording playback info is on off. That way you can't see which one of the two he's going to do. So you move back to mid-screen, go and sit in the middle of the screen, and you just crouch block, and then slightly after you started blocking, you press throw. If you do it correctly, you'll see you'll stay in block stun. If you do it poorly, you'll get counter hit. But normally, if you do it correctly, you will always block, but also tech the throws, like that. And you'll see you'll tech them a little late, like that. And that's it. That's how you practice this. Usually you start running into opponents who are consistently delay teching anywhere between silver and gold league. But regardless of when you start encountering it, this defensive technique becomes such a common occurrence after a certain point that a lot of the offense in mid to higher ranks is targeted specifically at defeating it. So how do you beat delay tech? Two common ways to do this are delayed buttons and shimmies. A delayed button is exactly what it sounds like. Instead of pressing a button as early as possible to keep a tight block string, you just wait a little bit before pressing it. You do this in hopes of catching the startup frames of an opponent's button or their throw animation. The key is to delay it just long enough. Wait too long and you'll get clipped in the startup frames of your button, or simply get thrown. So delayed buttons, they have an inherent factor of mind game. You're altering the rhythm of your attack and hoping to catch your opponent off guard that way. And while this is extremely common in high level play, it's something that doesn't work as well in the lower ranks, which is why I recommend you start baiting delay tech with shimmies first. If you look at a normal offensive pattern of block strings and tick throws, usually what happens is you press a button, you walk forward and you throw. This is what delay tech aims to beat. The basic shimmy pattern sees you press a button and instead of walking forward, you now walk back a little, so you can see their throw tech whiff and then you walk back in and you grab their extended hurt box. This is quite common on, for instance, Sakura. She has great walk speed and throw range, so this kind of shimmy is something that she excels at. An additional benefit to the shimmy is that because walking back also doubles as the block input, you'll also be safe if they mash jab or EXDP. If you do this basic shimmy, you'll manage to successfully blow up your opponent's delay tech. But all you get for it was a little bit of damage and a knockdown. A stronger kind of shimmy will be walking back to avoid a throw and pressing a button at a range where you can convert into a big combo. Akuma's stand medium kick comes to mind. This is one of the main ways people rack up a lot of damage very quickly in the higher ranks, which is why at those levels of play, a lot of players just stop delay teching altogether and just take the throw.
Take the throw, take the throw, take the throw.
That's a throw. Take the throw first. Now, what's next? Throw, take that. Smart, wise choice there from Smug.
Not only do you take less damage, a lot of characters also don't have the greatest follow-up pressure after a throw. You'll mainly see pro players get shimmied like this only if they're on their last bit of health and they have to tech the throw in order to stay alive.
Go Daigo! Ooh, big lead, close the stun, the shimmy!
Many characters actually have very unique way of baiting the throw, like for instance Ibuki's forward medium kick, Akuma's forward hard punch, or the infamous Nirvana shimmy. Okay, so how do you practice beating delay tech? In order to set this up in training mode, go to the start menu, and again we're using the dummy, but this time around we're not using playback recording, we are in fact using the dummy tab right here. First off, make sure the dummy is on guard all, so it just blocks everything no matter what. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to record a guard recovery action. So basically you're telling the dummy to do something as soon as it gets out of block stun. In our case, what do we want the dummy to do? We want the dummy to do a reversal throw. So let's go up here, put the interval setting on 1, start recording. I'll choose slot 1 here, and then press throw. Now, there are two things going on here. First off, what you want to see is you want to see a red text at the bottom of the screen that says reversal. I didn't get it there, so I need to do it again. An easy way to get this is to just like mash the button until you see a reversal, but to practice delay teching, that actually doesn't work. So because the mash gets simulated as well later on. So you really just want to press throw once and make sure you get the reversal timing. So let's try again and see if we can get it this time. Alright, so this might take you a couple of tries, but eventually you should have it like that. And then what you do is you go to guard recovery actions, set it to 1. Normally the replay interval settings up here will be at 0. We'll leave it like that for now, so I can show you what that does. Alright, so if you move up now, you can see that the Yuri will grab immediately. Now you can still practice shimmies like this, but the rhythm is actually somewhat unnatural. It's a bit too fast. So what you want to do is you want to move back to the dummy settings and delay the throw tech quite a bit. Most people would recommend doing it anywhere between 6 to 10 frames. Personally, I like 7 frames the best. And yeah, let me show you what that looks like. So if we move in now, he actually delays his throw quite a bit more, and this is a lot closer to the actual delay tech timing. And you can yeah, start practicing whiff punishing and baiting and shimmying like that. So yeah, I really hope that helped you out. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and press that like button. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. As always, thanks for watching, and here's my ass being shimmied by Leffen.
Woo, shimmy!